For my personal growth project, I chose the topic of hand lettering. So I want to learn how to hand letter and do calligraphy and combine them together to make some really cool things like cards for loved ones or to bullet journal. It's definitely been a challenge, but something that's been enjoyable at the same time. My mentor for this project is my friend Avery. I met Avery at a sleepaway camp where she was my co-counselor, and she was always using her hand lettering and calligraphy in the cabin to decorate campers like stadium chairs, we call them Crazy Creeks. She would decorate water bottles, she designed our camp shirts, all using her handwriting because she just had really beautiful calligraphy combined with hand lettering. She told me she learned by going to a few classes in her area, but for this project she said she'd be more than willing to teach me what she learned and help me apply it to my own journey to learn how to do hand lettering and calligraphy.
So this is one of my first attempts at my personal growth project of practicing how to do hand lettering. So I'm gonna turn it around. I started off with a simple cursive hello, but then I knew like everywhere that it goes when you're doing cursive that you go down, my mentor taught me you have to fill it in. So I drew all those lines first of what I'd be filling in. This is how it looks filled in. Kind of sloppy, not that great. I'm hoping to get better at that. And then I just practiced a bunch of different fonts. So hand lettering is mixing fonts like this. I can tell though it's like getting better. I think it's a good start, but I'm looking forward to improving here some of the ones that I've already done.
So after practicing for the first time a little bit, Avery gave me some really good feedback. She first said that I just need to keep practicing. It's like everything, the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. She also said to keep looking at Pinterest because a lot of hand lettering is being creative, but if you look on Pinterest, you can get ideas like, oh, I never thought of that before. So I'll make sure I continue to go on Pinterest and maybe it'll spark some creativity to help and do some like embellishments to my creations. She also was very positive with her feedback, where I know that what I created wasn't that good, but she's just very kind and supportive and uplifting, so she gave me a lot of positive feedback, but I'm going to continue trying to improve with some of her other suggestions as well.
So sometimes I work for an event planning company, and at one of the weddings I was working, I saw their welcome to our wedding sign, and with my project I wanted to see if I could make something similar myself. So after practicing some more, this is what I came up with. Here I am attempting some more calligraphy and hand lettering after I got some of my feedback from Avery. So this one just says hello there, and I added some embellishments after getting some inspiration from Pinterest. And then I made one that says do not worry, be happy, which is another one that I was inspired by from something I saw on Pinterest as well. It was really fun to mix the fonts and get creative here.
The first topic from the course that relates to my personal growth project is that I felt like I switched from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset regarding learning how to hand letter. So at first, when we learned about the fixed mindset, like you feel like your effort is fruitless, and I definitely felt that way. I feel like I wasn't improving, and so although I knew I wasn't doing a good job, I was really seeking the praise from Avery about what I had done. I really was hoping for approval. And then she did give me very kind feedback, but as I kept doing it and practicing like she said, and I saw the results for myself, I feel like I started having a growth mindset, and then I wanted to challenge it myself. I was confronting challenges by trying new fonts and adding new embellishments that I'd never tried before. And I just saw my effort more as what it takes to master hand lettering. And I just became passionate about it, and I believed in my potential. And overall, I really felt like I switched from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A second topic from class that relates to my personal growth project is resilience and practicing and strengthening the muscles of resilience. My mentor gave me some examples of hand lettering that she did, and then when I tried to replicate them, it literally looked like I was using my left hand to do it compared to hers. Like hers were so beautiful and mine were okay, but nowhere near where hers were. So once I kind of switched from my fixed mindset to my growth mindset, I was able to use my positivity muscle and confidence muscles, knowing that a way to succeed will be discovered. And I'm still working on growing my creativity muscle of resilience because, like I said, hand lettering is a lot about creativity and adding little additions to what you're making. So, all of this is part of being resilient and knowing that even when you make mistakes, like I made mistakes all the time, I'm going to find a way to learn how to do hand lettering and make it just as pretty someday, hopefully, as Avery's. The third topic from class that I found related to my personal growth project was one of my top 5 Clifton strengths, the restorative strength. So with the restorative strength, it means I am skilled at problem solving. So this was really useful during my journey of learning how to hand letter. I had to do problem solving when I was looking at what I was making. I'd look at what I'm making and look at what I was attempting to make something similar to and say, why isn't this working? I had to find the problem, correct it, and then move forward in order to improve. The fourth topic that relates to my growth project is feedback. So I received positive outcome feedback and positive process feedback. She was never really critical, and that's just kind of in her personality, although at times I could have used some more pointers, but she was she gave a lot of praise. So with the positive outcome feedback, when I would finish something and I would show it to her, she would say that it looked great. Sometimes if I would show her something that I was in the middle of working on, she would also say that it looks great and say things that would encourage me to keep going and finish what I was working on. And the fifth and last topic from the class that I found in my personal growth project was values. So 2 of my values are generosity and thoughtfulness. And I found that I will be able to really exercise those values and continue to implement them in my life. So with making cards for loved ones, I really think that a handmade card is thoughtful. So I'd love to be able to make my own and make it pretty with hand lettering and calligraphy and just be generous with giving cards like that. I really would like to continue to use this to uphold my values. I learned a lot about myself through this project, but one of the first things I thought of was about the fixed mindset. I was really almost disheartened to realize that I started with a fixed mindset, and it kind of just shows me that sometimes I start challenges with a fixed mindset instead of just starting off the bat with the growth mindset. And although I was able to get there, I'd like to really start things with a growth mindset from now on and confront challenges from the start, not just when I start seeing results. Like I mentioned, one of the things that I learned about myself that I will use in the future is to start off with a growth mindset instead of the fixed mindset. Another thing that I learned about myself that I'll use in the future is the value of negative process feedback. I realized how much I kind of craved it, and although I didn't outright ask Avery for it, as a leader, I really want to fulfill the needs of my followers, and I think a lot of the times there is a need for negative process feedback because it tells you how you can improve and not just gives praise along the way or at the end. Going back again to the fixed versus growth mindset, it really taught me about my leadership ability that if I do not focus on my growth mindset and staying in that mindset, it'll really prohibit the extent of my leadership. And so this is something I really want to work on that I learned about myself from this project. I really want to work on staying in that growth mindset mentality and confronting challenges and staying positive. This is something that I think will really help my leadership and be motivational for my followers and hopefully will reflect onto my followers as well.